are for the use of nitrification inhibitors in the United States. We'll say they're science-based recommendations. What would your advisors say about nitrification inhibitors?
We can ask him. I don't
Oh,
know
no,
the
no.
I
I want to know what the university research line is on this.
I don't know the actual recommendation for the U.S. myself, but
Maybe then we
Yeah.
will ask.
So, I'm sorry, what's the question?
What is the Wisconsin recommendation for the use of nitrification inhibitors?
Well-
The best of the breed.
Well, all right, so I wouldn't say we have a recommendation for it. I think we identify which ones are legitimate products. So we basically have two types of products, the Dow product, NSERV, and then we have the DCD, and which is also commercialized into it. The same company that makes Agricane, which is yours. Okay, so there's basically two big products on the market. They both work. When we test them, I guess the company line is you have to have the environmental conditions to show the effect. So if you're going to use them and incur the cost, you might only see a benefit of them in terms of keeping the nitrogen around and thus an increase in yield once every 4 years, once every 3.
So it doesn't reliably improve the yields.
Because just right, so if the nitrogen wasn't leached out, or if there wasn't the environmental conditions to move nitrogen away, then there wasn't a benefit of protecting it. But
I was just curious
Yeah.
as to whether things have changed in the last 30 years or so. I mean, these products have been around for a while, and the motivation to save money and save the nitrogen fertilizers has always been there. Nobody wants to see their nitrogen lost. I
Right.
mean, at the very minimum, they don't want to see their fertilizer dollars go for nothing, and yet the yield increases can't pay for reliably pay for these ameliorative
And
measures.
the NSERV, I don't know what the costs are on that. That's a little bit more, it's less cost prohibitive. The DCD product has you buy the urea, and it's already impregnated with the DCD product in it, and that's got quite a premium on the price.
So I was also going to just say that these things are not specifically nitrification inhibitors. They have a much broader spectrum of action.
Right.
Inhibit lots of microorganisms at the same time.
Right.
And which could include the methane producers and all the rest of it. So we only see what we're measuring, and it has other broader effects.
Out of the one study I was looking at bacteria population, they said it did not affect heterotrophic bacteria specifically adversely, but other than that, they were just looking at heterotrophic and then nitrosomonas and nitrobacter that it was reducing. So since they can control everything. Thank you so much. If anyone has any more questions,